Steve Williams. Here. Max Gamble. Absent. Talisha Day.
Here.
Greg Zink.
Present.
Chuck Williams. Here. Tom Jacobs.
Here.
Scott Nail is absent, and I'm Anthony Cyphers. First thing on the agenda is the minutes approval of the April 27th meeting.
If there's no discussion, I'll make a motion to pass the minutes of the April 27th, 2026.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next on the agenda is to review the permits issued for April of 2026.
I move to accept the minutes as presented. I'll second that motion.
Motion's made and seconded to acknowledge the permits issued in April of 2026. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, next on the agenda is a public hearing for a petition for deviation for advantage-built homes. Before we get started, if our attorney would like to sort of give us the background on this and what we're looking at today.
Yes, so this is a petition to split one parcel into 5 parcels. Let me give you the acreage of the parcel at issue. Well, doesn't appear to be generally available here online. The applicant probably has that information. But in any event, this is on Small Street. This is a public hearing item. One question, and it may be for Ronnie here. This is coming in as a petition for deviation under the subdivision code. I guess, why is it coming in as that rather than a plat? Okay. Okay, and the applicant may have that information as well. Okay, that's fine. So essentially, yeah, I mean, it's going to be, we'll be treating this as essentially a petition to subdivide the one parcel into 5 parcels. And with that, we can invite the applicant up to present the petition, and following that, you may ask questions for him to answer, and then once that portion's concluded, we'll invite up public commenters to provide comment, and once that's concluded, the applicant will have the ability to rebut any of those comments.
If you don't mind, before you start, just your name and address.
Sure. My name is Lincoln Crum, and I am a representative of ABH, and my address is 280 Main Cross Street, Charlestown, Indiana, 47111.
Thank you.
My name is, like I said, Lincoln Crum. I have been in the real estate development, building, sales business my whole entire life. I got my real estate license in 1988 and have spent my whole career doing every function of real estate there is. Where I've landed in my career now is working with some developers and home builders that are building homes in southern Indiana, and they've asked me to be a part of the project and make sure that we just run through the systems, do exactly as we say we promise that we're going to do, talk about what the project is briefly, and then put the product in and build it and create a tax base in our community and affordable housing for your current people that do live in this area, as well as moving into the area. I know by experience with new construction and new homes, if you don't have a lot of production subdivisions, those are real good. They're really appealing in a small area where there are smaller lots, but you infill and you build on the infill and you create value from a lot that doesn't have a whole lot of value to a $250,000 tax base. And that's really the bulk of what we're doing, is infill lots, not just here in Salem, but in other markets, that allow us to go in and build a home. What we are doing is we're using a manufactured product that is from Champion Homes out of Topeka, Indiana. It is a designed and engineered home that's built. They build the floors and the walls and the truss system in a factory, just like trusses and other floors and walls are built in factories all over the country. But they're built in a factory, and then they ship those panels to the area. A crane comes in and picks it up and places them on a poured foundation. We're working with Ken Temple to do the foundation and the groundwork to make sure all of that is right. And they come in and they set them up, and within 2 weeks, the home is ready to go and for sale. Everything is in there. It's all complete. It was built in a controlled, secure environment. And the thing that I like about them is they put a drywall firewall down that separates the sections when they come in. And they have become really popular because it reduces the time of construction by, it's about an eighth as a traditional. It is not a trailer. There's no title to it. It is fixed into or onto a foundation that is either block or poured walls. These will most likely be a poured wall
This is
foundation.
considered a modular home then, correct?
It's not considered a modular.
Okay, what's the
No,
difference?
it's the only, the difference is this is the same as a traditional, the way these are built is the same as a traditional stick-built home. It's just they built it in pieces in the factory,
Isn't
not
that a
on the, not
modular?
on the site.
Isn't that the same as a modular?
It's technically not the same as a modular.
I believe, and I may be speaking out of my total area of expertise, but I think there's something to the extent that these types of homes are built to HUD specifications.
They qualify for conventional financing, any type of farmer's home or any types of incentive financing, they qualify for that. It's a great product. I'm going to the factory in 2 or 3 weeks. And so we are looking at building it on this parcel. And this lady who I was talking to, she lives right here. Upon my recommendation, as well as Josh and Mr. Temple, we decided that our best bet is to start up where there's a buffer and start at lot 1 and 2, which is there at Harrison and Small, where the cemetery is right there. And so instead of coming and crowding here in the beginning, we'll start up there at the first 2 lots to put the first 2 houses in. And if we get our approval, then they would go in during the months of July and August and be on the market and for sale late summer.
Just real quick, I do have a question. Greg, you probably know better than I do. About 2/3 of the homes over there by the high school, weren't they built like that?
No.
Because I know a lot of them were built out of the lumber yard that used to be on Anson Street that my parents owned. They built everything right there in that lumber yard and shipped it
Well,
across town.
it's similar to what he's
Yeah.
doing.
The
Yeah.
company that, this Champion company, they build all kinds of different products. They build real popular, like the granny pods, what they call them, granny pods, or nests that they put, that's a real tiny micro house. They are in the affordable housing business, and Salem, Indiana is a affordable housing market where we need as much bang for the buck. And the reason why I jumped on board is because the way it is manufactured, it's not a trailer, it's not trash. The developers that we're doing this with, from Mr. Temple to Josh Hillman, they absolutely understand the way the land works and the way the homes will be built on there. I'm excited about it. I think it's a good project, and I think it's affordable housing. We'll do the first 2 and hopefully continue with a couple more, but if we do the first 2 and it doesn't work, then we're not gonna waste anybody's time and do any more. But I checked the sales of houses priced $200,000 to $250,000 in Salem, and they all sell quick, days on market. So it's an affordable product.
What's your anticipated asking price?
Somewhere in the $229,900 to $234,900.
Okay.
Square footage.
About 1,350 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath, front porch on the front, and bedrooms down the side, living room, kitchen in the back.
So it's
About 12 by 14 patio on the back.
So it's a shotgun style.
Pretty much shotgun, yeah, it's a
Okay.
27 by 52,
Okay.
yeah.
It's a little wider,
These
but.
are constructed with like 2x4s.
Oh, yeah, 2x4 construction, that's something I wanted to share. All interior walls 2x4, all exterior walls are 2x6. All penetrations through ceiling and floor to be fire stopped, and gets state stamped from the state engineer's office. And Mr. Temple will have full plans on everything that we build, and, you know, we'll file that accordingly with you all. Any other questions?
They set on a permanent foundation
Oh
or?
yeah, it's a poured wall foundation. They're on a crawl space. I like this. I've sold thousands of homes. I've sold a lot of slab homes. And sometimes if you need to fix something or get to something and it's buried in concrete, you don't get to it. It's all manufactured in the factory, so you've got all your plumbing, you've got all your electric that's there in the floors already. So it is on a crawl space, and the crawl space isn't just dirt that's dug up. There's a barrier there and a vapor barrier and every single thing we need to make sure that it's nice and tidy. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the drive up here. I don't know how much I'm gonna enjoy the drive back. It's raining like this, crazy. Thank you.
Thank you. Now,
I wanna know what kind of dirt I'm gonna get. I live in that house down below, and I wanna know what kind of dirt, mud, rain is coming on me.
For public comment, can you approach the podium, state your name and address for the record?
Helen Baker, 403 South Posey Street, Salem, Indiana, 47167. I wanna know what kind of dirt I'm gonna get. I wanna know if they're gonna put barriers up, if they're gonna stop it, or do I need to get a lawyer?
Well, I have a question for Ronnie. It's my understanding that any construction has requirements as to, you know, like containment and everything, and that would be just part of the general practice that they
And-
would have their containment.
And if I start getting stuff, who do I contact?
Yeah.
The guy behind you.
Don't worry, you'll get it. I already had problems when they cleared that property. I had to go up there and make them put barriers in to keep the trash off my property. And I'm not happy with this. Is that the same as what's below us?
That trailer rig went down below us now, right? That's the same.
That's two-part.
Which one you're talking about, but I'll be more glad to look it up on my.
It's on King and Posey,
King Post.
406 Posey.
I'm pretty sure he's not the one who built it.
Yeah, I know, I didn't build it. Maybe I could look and,
Because that's a tin can. And I've lived in tin cans, and they're not nice. They deteriorate, and they bring your property values down.
I'm familiar
These-
with the type of homes he's talking about building and stuff, and these, when they're done built, you would think that it's a regular stick-built house.
it's designed
Which it
exactly
is.
like, well, I'll wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tin can,
It's not a
It's not
trailer.
a trailer.
it's not a trailer, it's,
And that's a manufactured home, we're talking, it's a duplex.
That's what's below us,
Yes,
is a duplex.
but these are not. These are just like a stick-built house.
They better be.
all right, next up for questions, Ronnie, one question I had that I should have probably brought up before, was as far as lot size. So we're looking at this proposed subdivision of this lot. Given the size of these homes, have you seen, does the drawing show the footprint at all? Is it going to comply with all setback requirements?
Can I answer that?
Sure. Sure.
Can I show you this?
Yeah.
If you see, you've got a 27-foot wide house, but you've got a 47-foot wide lot, and you got 10-foot setbacks on both sides, so you'll have 10 foot there, and then 10 foot there, you have 20 feet between both houses of their exterior walls. And then whatever the setback is I know Josh and I worked with Ken on getting this laid out, but whatever the setbacks for the front setback would be is what those would be.
Front setback's 30 feet.
Okay.
So probably not far off from how the
Yeah, probably
illustration
not far
shows.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, while you have that,
Oh, sure.
this looks a little different on lot 4.
Well, this isn't, I think this was maybe what was there at one time.
Okay.
That's not me. That's
okay.
not any of these homes.
Okay,
So
okay.
I think their main focus was these two on, we get these started and get them built, see if they sell, and then proceed. Yeah,
Gotcha.
we wouldn't do that.
Okay. Yep. You see why I asked the question.
100%, yeah, I didn't notice that one. Yeah.
Ronnie, do the plans as presented, they meet all city requirements?
Yeah.
So everything as presented is in full compliance?
Oh, yes.
So lot size is good to go. Lot
Good.
size,
Yeah, it's the,
minimum standards.
I just, a couple quick things on the rebuttal, and I totally understand. I can tell you, these are not tin cans. It's not a tin can mobile home. That's not what we're talking about. If it was, I'd tell you that. You can look up Champion Homes and this product of what we're building. It's not that, I promise you. And the good news is, I'm gonna be there during the whole process, so you step on up, I'll be there. I'm in a little white van or a pickup truck.
Duplex.
I'm sorry?
It's duplex, it won't go us.
Oh, I don't know what that is. I'm just talking about the single-family homes that we're building, same as the stick style, just built in a factory, exact same thing, just built in a factory. And, we are here to increase property values and base for the county. As far as the dirt goes, that's a great question. I would have that question if I lived down the hill from there. And when I was in Mr. Temple's office last week for at least an hour, I'm like, here's the deal. If we have these homes and we've got a stair step, I'm not an engineer, but I'm smart enough to know what rolls downhill. So I said, as we do that, we have to stair step it and we have to make sure that we protect and keep the dirt where it's placed so it doesn't go anywhere else. That's top priority, because you wanna know why that's top priority?
Oh, yeah.
Because, well, somebody will come back and sue us if we don't do that correctly. Well, I'm not an attorney, I'm not here to fight anybody lawsuit, I'm just here to help build some affordable houses. So, all right. All right, so that's, if I answered their questions, and I hope I answered your questions, answered you all, I'm more than glad to answer anything else, but
I have, just from the procedural standpoint, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
So in the application, there's the kind of overlay that you've shown with the proposed lot arrangement, the dimensions, and it's overlaid on an aerial.
okay.
Do you have a plat prepared that you intend to record to effectuate the subdivision or the split?
Well, I guess that would depend on what you all say needs to be filed, if it needs to be a plat or preliminary plat for approval, or, we're here to provide whatever you need.
Okay.
And if it says that you need this, I mean, Mr. Hill, he does this for a living, so, we'll provide.
Ronnie may have a,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, you
okay,
bet.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Are you planning on putting up 4 houses or 5 houses on this property?
I don't know if I can answer that question yet, because I don't think we can answer that until we at least get our first 2 up. I think the maximum that it would be 5, but it could be 4. It just depends on how it goes, how that land lays. You know, we might get the first 2 done and see that the dirt's not gonna work. There's no sense in proceeding and doing that. That's gonna create a long-term liability for anybody. So we'll make that decision then.
Okay.
So, infrastructure-wise, we're good to go. The real question I got, and you answered some of it for me the other day, small street is exactly that. It's a very small street. What are we gonna do?
Well, we're gonna do a lot of work on Small Street, we're gonna widen it out, there's a big bank here on the property he's talking about, that bank can get shaved off of there, and that'll help him. And then all this process, there's gonna be erosion
So is there gonna be parking here too?
Where's your sewer gonna be? Water?
Yeah, the front
Gas.
entrance parking.
It'll be out in front along that street, there, right?
No gas, ma'am, we'll just have water and electric.
Sewer.
And all that, all that.
Alright.
None of that.
All right.
Appreciate you tonight.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions?
I did, hold on.
Makes my brain hurt. Thank you all. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So we talked about the erosion control, we talked about stuff. Even, and I'm just thinking about, I think Greg asked it, the parking, is there gonna be parking along the street? Is it no
It'll
parking?
be driveways.
Driveways.
When we get down to
Okay.
that bank there, it'll be.
Off street only.
Yeah.
Off-street only? But I guess people come and visit, are they gonna park on the
There
street?
should be enough room in their parking.
And
driveways.
still get ambulances
And we're
and
widening that road out, so that road's gonna be a lot wider than it is.
gonna be more of a city street style road? Okay. Might have to change the name to White Small or something.
And I think as well, relevant procedurally, the question really at issue here is about the split and not necessarily about the proposed use. I mean, that's relevant context, but it's not the operative underlying facts that you need to evaluate with the split. That would be more of dimensions, location, the things set forth in the subdivision control ordinance.
Okay.
It's not an approval for the use, in other words.
It's just for the subdivision
That's right.
of the land.
The zoning's remaining the same. So what's permitted in R1 will remain permitted for this property before and after this split that's being proposed.
All right.
So procedurally, what is our next step? Do we need to close the hearing and then have a formal vote, or what do we need to do procedurally?
It would be a motion to either approve or to reject the proposal, and then a second, and then a vote.
I'll make a motion to approve the split of the plat.
I'll second that motion.
All right, motion's been made and seconded to approve the subdivision. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, the subdivision, the petition for deviation has been granted for the subdivision. All right, that closes the public hearing. We don't need a motion to close the public hearing, do we?
No.
Next on the agenda is new business. Ronnie, what new business do you have for us?
I really don't have any big business, we take care of several yards that we built up, I think we kinda got a hand on it now, but, it's kinda rough at the start. And we are getting back out, we have some, vehicles along the street, normal stuff.
Does anyone up here have any new business for us to discuss or to bring up?
I've got a question.
Sure.
It's gonna be a legal question, I think. So,
No, we'll handle it.
there's communities all over the country, getting turned inside out and upside down because of data centers being built, and the impact that data centers have on communities. Now, I know we can do nothing, and then whatever is on the books is what we have to react to if anything ever comes within our jurisdiction. Or we can be on the front side of it and have things set in place to protect the community before somebody ever even thought about entertaining the general area. What do we think about, or do we even worry about it?
Well, that's really a legislative question and not a legal question. I mean, there are ways that you can regulate data center uses similar to numerous other uses through your zoning ordinance. But whether and to the extent that you do that is really a legislative consideration
So city council.
for the
would be
council,
ones to-
correct. Now, that's not to say that the plan commission doesn't have a voice in that with any amendment to or replacement of the zoning ordinance with any updated version. The Plan Commission's a necessary player in that to review it, provide comment, give it a favorable or unfavorable recommendation to the council. But ultimately, in making a decision how you're going to regulate that, that's going to be a decision for the council to make.
Okay, so there is part of where I'm confused. I've been reading through and trying to understand, what's the responsibilities of a plan commission and an appeal commission and city commissions and so on and so on and so on. And as I'm reading through the state laws, and I don't claim to understand 2/3 of what I'm reading, as I'm reading through there, the origin of what we're discussing right now actually starts right here. We're the ones that are supposed to pull all of this together and get it ironed out and get it taken care of so that it can be presented to the city council and not the other way around.
Either the Plan Commission or the council can originate proposing zoning changes or amendments or revisions to the zoning ordinance. It then just kicks off a process, but I guess the point that I'm trying to make is, it's going to come down to getting a formal revision, amendment, new zoning ordinance, whatever that is, in place, and having a hearing on it. Plan Commission would be conducting that, would be making a recommendation onto the council. But when it comes to actually regulating those things,
Right.
the Plan Commission can only enforce the zoning ordinance that's in place, and only the council can adopt an ordinance.
Right, no, I don't disagree, but I guess where I'm asking is, if we feel like we need to start a process, and I'm not saying we do, I'm asking questions, if we feel like we need to do something, is it not our responsibility to start that process, to pull all the information together, and then to present that to the city council to then work from?
You could do that.
Again, I'm just trying to look at the state laws as to what do the state laws say is whose responsibility to do what. So I'm trying to be proactive in the discussion instead of reactive, because I figured out pretty quick in just the few months that I've been on here, unless it's on a piece of paper, I can't do a thing with it. All I have to do is say, yep, it complied, and it keeps going.
I guess I was understanding your question as to whether you're asking about whether you should do it from a, subjective standpoint of should or shouldn't you, versus what the procedure is to do something if you're intending to do something.
I'm asking all the above.
Okay.
Basically, I'm asking all the above.
Well, on the subjective,
Is it- yeah.
I can't opine on what you should or shouldn't do from
No,
a governance
yeah,
standpoint.
Yeah, no, and I understand that component of it, so, okay. It's just a bug that I want to plant in everybody's ear.
Mhm.
I don't know, there's, the state of Indiana has multiple lawsuits going on right now from small communities just like ours trying to stop data centers. And as I understand the law, unless it's already written and in place and approved, there's really not much you can do to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's a petitioner for a specific use would come in and they would be navigating how to approve what they want to do within the confines of what ordinance is in place.
Right now.
Currently, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just a question, like I said, I just wanted to plant a bug in your guys and lady, in your ears, and just something to think on, because it kind of rolls around in the back of my empty head.
Mayor, did you have something?
Commission, I'll shed some light on that. Change gears. As president of the Economic Growth Partnership, that's right where you're asking, Steve. So as of today, no, we are not actively cultivating or recruiting a data center for some of the reasons you just said.
Yeah.
I-1 is the zoning you would put a data center in. we only have 2 tracts of ground in your jurisdiction that an I-1 applies to. One of them is not lending any sort of available land, but the other one does. So the sole piece of ground that's an I-1 that has 2-mile fringe jurisdiction does not have the utility capability of serving a data center. So by default, we're a little bit okay. And by a little bit, you're right, Steve. That is not set in stone today. As we develop and we keep going for other economic development improvements, we're going to see more of a backbone built by our provider at Jackson County Rural Electric. Today, we can't supply one. Data centers are also twofold in their consumption from the utility. Not just the electric, but water consumption. Half will do strictly clean water, and the other half will do reclamation. Now, the reclamation we can probably look at. I have no problem with that as owner of the utility. We could look at some of those projects if, by chance, the utility requirements came way down. They're not showing that. And you raise a very good point, and that is a concern not only from the Washington County Economic Growth Partnership, but as mayor. Hey, if we can't do this right, we're not going to be in it at all. But right now, our utility partner says, don't even bring us a project because we can't bring you juice. Not going to happen.
Appreciate it, thank you. That was quick on that conversation.
All right, let's move on to old business.
You might, Jake, you might want to give them a little update on the 2 houses.
Oh, yes. So we had a public hearing in here last month, I believe it was, on 2 that we were requesting demolition. Those orders were affirmed in this body. The period of time that we had given them to comply had lapsed. So we were providing them the requisite statutory notice of the city's intention to go out and cause those properties to be demolished. And Ronnie may have an update as to the status of that.
What we're doing now is the title searches.
Yep. Okay.
Once that's complete, we're done.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
All right, anyone else in the old business you'd like to address? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
What's that?
All right.
Did he make that? I'll
He made a
second that.
motion. All right,
Okay.
motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, meeting adjourned.